Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin, and I'm back again with another review. This time I'm going to be reviewing Chillax Disposable Vapes by Vape. Now, as you saw from my little sped up intro video, I got these from a good friend of mine. Her name's Becky. She used to work at Aspire, then she went to Planet and Vape, and she always hooks me up. And I'm very, very glad that she supports the channel, and I really appreciate her friendship and all of my late night talks. To her, they're early morning talks, okay, about the vape industry. Really, Vape, you've got a star under your employ. She's amazing. So thank you again, Becky, for supporting us. As you can see in the display over my shoulder, there's 12 different flavors of Chillax Disposable Vapes. Why don't we just cut to the chase and do the up close, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you which flavors I like the most. Here they are, all 12 flavors of Chillax Disposable Vapes. Here you can see some of the specs: 700 milliamp hour battery, 4 milliliter liquid capacity, 12 different flavors, about 1200 puffs per device, and then it does come in between 2 and 5% nicotine. This one here is my favorite. It is the Chillax Blue Raz in 2% nicotine. And because I'm a psycho, here is a size comparison between 18650 battery and a quarter. Gives you a better idea of how small they are. And a quick profile view of it. So it's thinner than the battery. Now, overall, taking a look at it, beautiful design. It's got this rubbery texture to it. I like that little wave pattern that they've got going on there. These are all very visually appealing. Great mouthpiece, by the way, too. Reminds me a bit of the Caliburn. There's no adjustable airflow and no recharging of the battery, but they really don't need it. There's really nothing that these disposables are lacking. And I'll talk about it a little bit later, but overall, I mean, that's one of the appeals of buying a disposable. So here we go to just opening one up. And you guys know how I feel about these like little cigarette wrappers. I'm not a big fan of that. I do wish that some of these vape companies would just get rid of that type of packaging. But this one here is the Cherry Bomb. Product contains nicotine, which is highly addictive substance. The back of the package just shows 700 milliamp hour battery, 1.6 ohm resistance, 4 milliliter e-liquid capacity. Tells you a level of salt nicotine, which is 2% for these. Goes up to 5%. Max 1200 puffs. Big 21 plus, underage sale prohibited. And to go to famovape.com for more info. Also check out their Instagram. Vape makes the Magma AIO, which I still use. Liz loves hers too. Sometimes I have difficulty opening up these things, and I feel bad because I don't want to like trash the product or anything like that, but this was actually pretty easy to get open. Literally, once you get it out of the package, all you gotta do is remove those two little rubber pieces and you are ready to vape on it. So, how's it vape? It tastes just like a cherry milkshake. Okay, so first things first, how do these things actually vape? Are they good? How's the draw? How's the flavor? I'll start off with my favorite, and that's this blue raspberry. I actually asked Becky the first day I got these. This was the first one I tried. Can I get some e-juice of this? Because it's one of the best blue raz flavors I've ever tasted. And they also have some other really good flavors, but let me just draw on it, tell you what I think. So the thing about disposable vapes that I get excited about is that they are the most accessible vape devices to potential ex-smokers. And as you know, I feel very passionately about trying to convert as many smokers as possible. A good disposable vape, in my mind, needs to fulfill a couple criteria. First off, it has to have a draw that's similar to a cigarette. It's a very tight mouth-to-lung draw on this vape. Check. The next criteria is that it has to deliver enough nicotine to satisfy a smoker. Chillax disposables have 2% nicotine or 20 milligrams of salt nicotine per milliliter. That's not the highest nicotine level, but that's good. 50 milligram nic salts are a lot to take in. It's a lot of nicotine. It's a lot of stimulant that goes into your body. Now, I'm not a doctor and I don't know physiology or anything about metabolism, but I smoked for a long time. And I can tell you, even at 50 milligrams of salt nicotine, you're not going to feel the same sort of rush or buzz that you would get from a cigarette. Just absorbs differently. But salt nic is probably the closest you're going to get to taking the edge of quitting off of you. So at 20 milligrams per milliliter, Chillax checks a box. The next criteria is actually more difficult than you might think for vapes to pass. And that's the test where you get a throat hit, but not enough of a throat hit to make you cough. So I take 35 milligram salt nic, delivered in something like the Ursa Mini Pod Kit, which I just reviewed. That would make any smoker, any brand new vapor, cough all day long because of the speed that at least this device delivers vapor at you. So in comparison, actually, let me get more of a profile of this. Let's actually just compare it to my billet box with caliper. So what kind of count? Three full 1/1000s. All right. And that's almost too much of a draw for me to take from this. Okay. The disposable isn't operating at as high of a power, but also it has this cooling effect. And I'm not the biggest fan of cooling effects, like mentholated, like flavor, essentially. But it's probably the least strong menthol cooling effect that I've had in a disposable. So that puts it up there with the best that I've tried. And again, it's not going to make you cough. It's not going to make anybody cough. I've given them to friends to try, and they've all enjoyed them and liked them. So as for the flavors, like I said, this blue raz is one of the best blue raz flavors that I've had. The cooling effect on it is great. There's a couple other ones of note that I want to just mention. And one is the blue raspberry lemonade. This is a very close race between my favorites because I very much like the lemonade sort of finish to it. And it also sort of helps, for lack of a better expression, lessen the cooling effect for me, or at least the sensation. And I've tried a lot of lemonade blended e-juice, like the Twist brand, for example, is a popular one. And I mean, the flavor on this thing blows that out of the water. It's great. The next one that I like is tropical fruit. Just like any kind of tropical punch. And this is another example where the cooling effect tends to be less noticeable. There's like a lot of citrusy flavors, like grapefruit, pineapple. Liz claims mango. I don't really taste the mango, but well, you know what? Like, I don't eat mangoes either, so it might be super obvious and I'm just completely oblivious to the flavor. But tropical fruit, great. This one here is probably the most interesting flavor to me, and I like it a lot because I've never had an e-juice that tasted like this, that had a blend like this. And it's the melon watermelon. Okay. Now, when you draw on this, you get that sort of like cantaloupe, honeydew flavor that's present, you know, on the initial inhale. And then you start to taste like the sweetness of like a fresh watermelon. And then you get the melon on the exhale, and it kind of leaves an aftertaste of like the honeydew in there. So the honeydew is really quite prevalent and dominant in regards to the flavor. But again, it's just this blend that is super refreshing, and it's really like none of the other like candy flavors and fruit flavors that I've had. I also have this one here, which is the watermelon mint bubblegum. I love watermelon flavors. I love bubblegum flavors. Not a big fan of mint flavor, but something about this just works. And I would say, if I had to guess, that this would probably be one of the most popular flavors if people tried them. Absolutely a spot on great juice in here. And then last but not least, I do want to mention the cherry bomb. Now, I was super excited about this because I wanted like a good cherry flavor, right? And I go to draw on it, and I could tell instantly it just wasn't my thing. And the reason for it is it's got like a milkshake or dairy flavor to it, and I do not like dairy flavored, and there's also a tea in there too. Like, I don't really like tea flavors and berry flavors like in my e-juices, but When I vape this, like if you like milkshakes and like cereal, oh my God, you're gonna love this because it tastes like I'm inhaling like a milkshake. So, but anyway, guys, with that said, you know, I can't thank Becky and Vape and Chillax more for sending these out. I'm going to continue to test these. I'm gonna go through all of them. Like the pineapple honeydew melon is gonna be up there next. There is a cantaloupe milkshake, which I do have a friend that likes milkshake flavors. I'll probably, you know, give it to her. The blueberry guava and the strawberry lychee kiwi too, which I'm thinking is probably going to be pretty good too. You know, when it comes to the ease of use, you saw on the up close, I mean, there's really not much to do. All you do is you open up the package and you pull off like the little rubber stoppers and you vape on them. And like I said, I mean, in regards to the pros, great flavor, tons and tons of options to choose from. The fact that it's a 1200 puff disposable is actually pretty good because it also means that if you get sick of a flavor or you want to just kind of pocket one for a little bit and vape on a different one, you can do that because it's relatively affordable. That's ultimately where disposables are starting to get better. They're getting cheaper. And you know, the only real con that I'm kind of noticing, but it hasn't even been an issue for me yet, is the fact that they're not rechargeable. So you know, once the battery is drained, any juice you got left in it, it's gonna end up like being worthless, right? So I would say make sure to vape them down, right? Vape them completely, like before the battery drains. And another cool element is the fact that, like I said, I mean, there's some flavors here that I know I'm probably not gonna like, so I can just give them to my friends. That variety is fantastic. So with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for subscribing, liking, commenting on my videos. I know that I haven't been as present this summer as I would like to be, but now I've got my space done, and Logan's getting bigger and he's sleeping through the night, and I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more rested. We haven't had any recent like family like tragedies to deal with or anything like that. My daughter, my adult daughter, she's settling in pretty well too. Everything's been going great. So I hope that you guys are all doing well. You've been a huge part of my success in quitting smoking and staying smoke free. And I hope that little videos like this can help you and help maybe somebody that is struggling with some of the stuff that we struggled with when we first started vaping. And yeah, overall, just keep going at it. Thanks, guys.